So when you think about Israeli startups, what comes to mind? Probably a lot of high tech, right? Those big, shiny innovation hubs and billion-dollar deals. But what about everything else? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what it's really like for immigrant entrepreneurs who are building businesses outside that famous tech bubble. Let's get into the unwritten rules for success. So, what's the actual secret to making it here? I mean, is it some game-changing product? A ton of investment money? Well, the answer is probably not what you'd expect. It actually has way less to do with what you're selling and a whole lot more to do with understanding a very, very unique cultural code. All right, first things first, let's talk about the incredible superpower you already have the moment you step off the plane. Seriously, this isn't about starting from zero. It's all about playing the cards that make you different. People call it the Olim advantage. Olim is the Hebrew word for new immigrants, by the way. Your global perspective, the skills you learned in a completely different market, your gut feeling for international trends. Believe me, these are not just nice little extras on your resume. They are your core assets. Especially in areas like retail or specialized services or consulting, just bringing a different flavor or a higher standard of service can make you stand out immediately. It's a huge deal. Okay, so you know you've got this advantage, but now you have to learn the local rules of the game. And let me tell you, the Israeli market operates on a totally different frequency. It's all about speed, who you know, and being ready to change your entire plan at a moment's notice. I mean, things move fast here. Decisions that could take weeks of boring meetings somewhere else, here, they can happen over a single cup of coffee. It's a proactive culture. If you wait around for something to happen, you are going to get left in the dust. And all those formal hierarchies, they often take a back seat to just networking and real personal relationships. Honestly, who you know, and more importantly, who trusts you, can open so many more doors than the most perfect business plan ever could. And that, of course, brings us to maybe the most famous and definitely the most misunderstood concept in Israeli culture, Hutzpah. If you really want to make it here, you don't just need to know what it is. You need to learn how to use it. Now, I know Hutzpah can sound kind of negative in other parts of the world, right? Like, it means being audacious or having a lot of nerve. But in Israeli business, it's actually seen as a professional tool. It's about cutting through all the fluff to get straight to the point. It's not about being rude, not at all. It's about being efficient and just relentlessly driven to get things done. So why does this actually look like day to day? Well, it means being super direct. No beating around the bush. It means being proactive. If you spot a problem, you jump in with a solution. You don't wait for someone to ask you. And you've got to be persistent. A no isn't always a hard no. Sometimes it's just the starting point for a negotiation or an invitation to try a different angle. This difference is just night and day when you look at how people talk. For instance, a very polite, corporate way to say something might be, I was hoping we could perhaps find some time to circle back on the proposal. To an Israeli, that can sound kind of weak, maybe even indecisive. The direct approach is, when can we discuss the proposal? I have time tomorrow at 10 a.m. See the difference? It's not rude, it's just clear, direct, and ready for action. All right, so you've got your unique advantage and you're learning to speak the local language of Hutzpah. The next massive step is this epiphany. Your brilliant, amazing idea from back home? It probably won't work here, right out of the box. It needs to be, well, Israelified. So, you start with your original concept, but then you have to get serious about analyzing local habits. And the absolute most critical piece, especially if you're in retail or services, is the rhythm of the week and the year. The cycles of Shabbat and the Jewish holidays fundamentally change everything: consumer behavior, supply chains, when you can market things. Your business model has to be built around this reality. It's non-negotiable. So, after all this cultural homework and adaptation, where do you actually aim your efforts? This is the final piece of the puzzle. Finding your sweet spot in the market, way outside the glare of the tech headlines.
This chart really tells the story. Yeah, the high-tech bubble gets all the attention. It's huge, we get it. But it's not the whole picture, not even close. The rest of the economy, all these small and medium businesses, retail, services, crafts, it's massive. And this is where the real opportunities are. This is where your Olam advantage can make the biggest splash.
And this right here is the core of the strategy. Success isn't about trying to compete with the tech giants. It's about finding a need in the everyday economy that just isn't being met, and then filling that gap with the unique skills and perspective that only you can bring. So let's just boil this all down into a quick toolkit. Number 1, leverage your unique international background. It's your superpower. 2, learn to embrace business chutzpah as a tool for getting things done. 3, adapt your brilliant idea to the local cultural rhythms. And finally, number 4, find that profitable non-tech niche that everybody else is too busy to see.
And, that really leaves us with one last thought to chew on. We've been talking about all this in the specific context of Israel. But maybe, just maybe, there's a universal lesson here. In a world that just keeps getting faster, a world that demands clarity and persistence, perhaps a little bit of that direct, goal-oriented chutzpah is exactly what every entrepreneur needs to succeed, no matter where on the map they are.